to episode
Four
of Two Brothers Talk Sports. We are here with Chad Pelletier, Jay Wheatley. There are two brothers, our sports fanatics, bringing it to you raw, uncut, and unwatered down like you get from those network sportscasters. We are going to really be getting into the thick of things. We're going to kick it off. Guys, anything you want to say to our viewers before we get started with this?
I'm Chad Pelletier, and I just wanted to say thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to put your own comments below on any of the topics we talk about. Remember to smash that like button, share with your friends, subscribe to this channel, because this is where real guys are talking real sports. We're not going to water it down. We don't have the handcuffs on us like ESPN, NFL Network, or any of the other sports networks that are out there. We don't have to worry about somebody telling us we have to be politically correct, because guess what? We don't give a damn about being politically correct.
And you know what? If we want to drink, we drink.
Exactly.
Sorry.
We want to smoke, we smoke.
We smoke cigarettes. We're having a good time.
And
I just want to say once again, happy holidays. And, you know, look at our Buccaneer pup over here. She's all about sports, too. Look how excited she is. Fuck the world. Take it away, Chad. Let's talk about Week 16.
As always, behind the camera, your moderator, Heather Pelletier, wife to Chad, sister to Jay, and
tries to keep us in line, but you know, she thinks she's Johnny Cash, but she's not.
On topic, in line, and when to shut the hell up.
But not walk the line. Oh shit! And I just dropped my beer. Shit.
All right.
Cut that.
It's in the week 17.
Yeah, let's do the picks real quick before we get out of here. We got. Come on, we got. It's all Sunday games, so there ain't no Thursday, Friday. Your mama's ass or finger up her ass.
Which sucks. I kind of like the Thursday games.
I do like the Thursdays and the Monday night games. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that means we got to do Sunday night or Monday night points on Sunday night's games.
Alrighty. So, leading us into our Week 17 predictions, I am going to start us off with a 4-11 Falcons at a 10-5 Buccaneers. I'm going to take Tampa Bay on this one, guys. Jay?
I'm going to go ahead with Tampa because you know, we have a chance to wrap up the number 5 seed. Let's do it. Go Bucks. I'm picking the Bucks.
I'm taking the Bucks in this one also.
All right. That leads us to a 6-9 Dallas Cowboys at a 5-10 New York Giants. I'm going to take the Giants.
I'm also taking the Giants in this one. I think this game right here is where the Giants steal the division.
Oh man, I'll tell you right now, these two teams are
atrocious.
They're not atrocious. No, they're good. Whenever it comes down to the Giants and the Cowboys, once again, like my brother turned out earlier, all the major games right now are in the NFC East, NFC Least, NFC Beast, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I'm going to have to sit here and just because, you know what, I hate the Cowboys, I hate you, Jerry Jones, I'm going to ride with the Giants just because, you know what, fuck you, Jerry Jones. I'm going with the Giants just because I hate the Cowboys.
All right, that takes us to a 2-13 Jets at a 6-9 Patriots. You know what? Go Jets. I'm going to take the Jets. I want to see them take the Patriots out in embarrassing fashion.
What game is that? I mean, that's a later round.
That's a 1 p.m.
Yeah, I'm going to probably have to go. You know what? I'm going to ride with the Jets on this one. Oh, wait a minute. They're playing New England.
Yeah, they're playing New England.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm still going with the Jets. Fuck you, Bill.
This is like I said. If Bill Smart, Cam Newton, you're riding the pine on this one. You're starting that other quarterback that you brought in the second drive of the second half. I can't think of his name.
Wasn't he somebody wasn't he from like the Missouri before they joined the SEC? It wasn't Chase Daniels. That's right. That was in the other game. That was during the Bucks game. That was right. Chase Daniels was the quarterback for the Lions, and it was Gabbert of the fucking Bucks. So my bad. Yeah, I don't know.
So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take the Jets also in this game.
All right, JTS, Jets.
All right, so that is going to take us to a 10-5 Ravens at a 4-10-1 Cincinnati Bengals. Going with Baltimore.
You know, I gotta tell you right now, if Joe Burrows was playing this game for Cincinnati, and if Cincinnati was 4-10 with Joe Burrows, I would say this might be the marquee matchup of the day. Burrows, I think, is a great quarterback. I think Indianapolis, you got a great things to build on going into the offseason. I really think at the end of the day the Ravens are going to win this game. But I tell you right now, if the Ravens can win this game, especially without Joe Burrows, imagine what that team is going to be like with Joe Burrows next year, especially with the year under his belt with Joe Burrows. This is a Cincinnati team. Don't sleep on just yet, just like the Cleveland Browns.
Well, who are you taking?
I'm gonna take the Ravens. But if the Bengals win, I would not be upset. But if I was putting money on the game, yeah, I'm taking the Ravens. So, but Heather, you taking the Ravens? I'm taking the Ravens so far.
Scary part is Cincinnati has been playing the upsetter.
Yeah, they have.
Here as of late.
And
I'm gonna go ahead and take Baltimore.
All right.
The second string quarterback for New England is Jarrett Stidham.
That's who they need to start. Thank you.
Sorry, I just had to look that up for you guys.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's
that's who they need to go ahead and start. See what you got. Cam Newton's 1-year contract is up at the end of the season. You got to see if this is the quarterback you need to go with in the future, or are you going after a quarterback in the draft? Plain and simple.
So next we have a 12-3 Pittsburgh against a 10-5 Browns. You know what? I'm going with Cleveland.
No.
I think they're hungrier than Pittsburgh, and I think that's going to make a difference.
I don't know, Chad, but
Baker Mayfield gets his receivers back. I'm Mike Tomlin at this point. I would be looking to go ahead and start Roethlisberger, start my first string, and if Cleveland is coming out and hitting, and really putting the wood on, I would go ahead and pull Roethlisberger. I would pull a lot of my starters so they don't get hurt before the playoffs. This is one of those games that it's hard to decide because you don't know what Tomlin's going to do. Is Tomlin's going to do the smart thing and just play Roethlisberger for a quarter and a half, or even half the game, and sit him down. And once you sit Roethlisberger down, I think it's the Cleveland show, because Cleveland's not going to set none of their starters. Cleveland's fighting for that spot, so I'm gonna just go ahead and go with Cleveland, thinking that Tomlin's going to do the smart thing and not play his starters long in this game.
Here's the problem in this game right here. Unfortunately, the Steelers, you've locked up the AFC North. Yeah, you're AFC North champions, but here's the thing. Just like with Buffalo against Miami, technically, yeah, Pittsburgh, you know what? You've already got a home playoff game. Whoop-de-doo. But you know what? You're also fighting for that second. Pittsburgh still has a lot to fight for, even though it's not the number one seed. Obviously, Kansas City has it in the AFC. But you know what? There's that little team from northwestern New York called Buffalo. Steelers, you have a lot to still play for. And you know what? The Browns have a lot to play for, too. I do not see Mike Tomlin benching Ben Roethlisberger because they need the number 2 seed.
But Would
you rather play Buffalo in Buffalo or in Pittsburgh?
Here's my whole thing. Here's my whole thing on it. The number 2 seed, the fight for the number 2 seed, now that you put the 7th team in the playoff picture, is the number 2 seed. You're fighting for an extra home field game. But to me, the home field this year with COVID, we talked
especially
about
in
this.
Pittsburgh, they don't even have fans in the stands.
Yeah, there's no fans in the stands, so it doesn't really matter. You're fighting for that first round bye. And you know how I feel about the bye weeks. Anyways,
yeah, you don't like rest.
I like the fact that you go ahead and you let your starters play, and you pull them out. If you're going to make a serious run for the Super Bowl, you want your starters to be healthy, but you don't want them to be too rested. That's why you give them some play time, and you pull them off the field to risk the lower the risk of any key player. Because if Roethlisberger goes down in this game with an ankle injury,
the Browns are done. The Browns are done.
You know, the
Steelers are done.
Steelers are done. So I mean, it's do I protect how far I can jump in advance in the playoffs to fight for a number 2 seed that I don't even get a bye week with anymore.
And especially since you're not fighting for the you got the AFC North. You're not gonna win the AFC division. Once again, you pick the Steelers.
I picked the Browns.
Okay. My bad.
Yeah, I'm banking on Tomlin to rest his starters after.
I'm gonna go with the Browns too. I bought a brownie the other day, and one time I buy a brownie on a Sunday and the Browns lose. I bet if it would have been filled with marijuana and everything, the motherfuckers would have won.
All right.
I'm going with the Browns.
Next, we got a 6-9 Vikings taking on a 5-10 Lions. I'm going to say the Vikings, even though this game really just doesn't matter to me. I'm going to go with the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm taking the Vikings. This is a meaningless game. Well, it's meaningless to us because it doesn't have any playoff contention, but you do have people fighting for their jobs next year in this game, whether it's for the team they're currently on or for another team to look at them because their contract's up. But I'm going to take the Vikings because Lions just they're trash.
Yeah, they're trash. Here's what gets me. I mean, neither team's playing for a playoff contention spot, but you know what? Both quarterbacks are playing for a spot, and both quarterbacks are playing for a lot of money. Stafford, Cousins. I don't know. I don't know who to pick on this one. This is just really a toss-up to me. I mean, where's your quarter at? Where the hell did your quarter go? I mean, where's that quarter? Actually, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna take the Lions. I think Stafford is just a little bit better of a quarterback than Cousins. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go with the Lions this weekend.
All right. So next we have a 10-5 Dolphins facing a 12-3 Bills. And I'm going to take Buffalo.
All right, man. Your turn.
I'm sorry. Yeah, 10-5 Dolphins. There we go.
Yeah, they got the same record as the Bucks.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Buffalo also because this right now is a team that's playing like a team, and I mean. And that goes for if they even put in their second string, I think they're going to come out there and they want to make their first stringers proud of them. That they, even though you guys possibly are resting, played a little bit and you're getting the rest, we want to show you that we are a team and we're going to win for you. This game for you. I like the Bills in this game. I mean, this is a hard game.
Both teams need it. Buffalo, you need it. Once again, obviously, home field does not mean anything. Even if you get the number 2 seed, you will still be playing in week 1 of the playoffs. Dolphins, you need to win this game to get in. And you know what? You proved to me last year, Miami, and it was after the New England game, whenever you beat them in Week 17 last year up in New England, that you were going to be a contender this year. I didn't realize how good the Dolphins were going to be. But once again, just like the Browns, I'm not going to jump off the bandwagon. I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I'm sorry. Go Mammals.
All right. So next up, we have an 8-7 Cardinals facing a 9-6 Rams. I personally had a very difficult time choosing, but I'm going to go with the Rams.
I'm going to go with Arizona. In this one.
You know what? No Tyler Murray, no Trevor Groff. Can Los Angeles? I mean, I know the Rams play in LA. Can they produce? Can come with an actor that can play quarterback? I don't know. I'm going with the Cardinals on this one too. And with that saying, the Bucks will be the number 5 seed, and they'll play either Dallas or Washington in the first round. Rams, sorry about your luck.
All right, we got a 1-14 Jaguars facing a 10-5 Colts.
You know what?
I'm gonna go with the Colts.
Right now, I'm looking at. I went ahead. ESPN. They have not ruled Kyler Murray out.
No,
he's hopeful.
They're questionable. He's questionable.
He's questionable.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
Jared Goff is definitely out.
Goff is out.
So with Kyler Murray still possible.
I picked the Cardinals.
Yeah.
What were you saying, sweetie?
That's all right.
1-14.
A 1-14 Jags at a 10-5 Colts. I'm going with the Colts.
And they're playing in Indianapolis. I'm going with the Colts.
Yeah, Colts.
Shit. I might not be moving up there, and I might not love her anymore. But you know, Debbie was a fan of the Colts, and why not? I'll be a fan of the Colts. So.
All right, we have an 11-4 Seattle Seahawks at a 6-9 49ers. I'm taking the Seahawks.
Yeah, Seahawks. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Seahawks here.
All right, so we have a 11-4 Saints going on a 5-10 Panthers. I'm gonna take the Saints.
Saints are once again. What do you got to play for? I mean, yeah. I don't get where they're gonna be. Maybe home field advantage. Either way, if I was the Saints, get through it. Make sure Drew Brees is healthy. If you want to play Jameis Winston, play Jameis Winston. If you want to play Taysom Hill, go ahead. But I'm with Heather. I'm going to go with the Saints just because.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Saints on this one.
All right, so next we have a 12-3 Green Bay Packers at a 8-7 Chicago Bears. They need this one. I think they can take it. I'm going to go with the Packers.
I'm going with the best team in the NFC. Green Bay Packers.
Oh, I was about to put you over the Bucks. This is a game that both teams need, and this is the oldest rivalry in the NFL. And I don't know what to say. I mean, this could go either way. Both teams need it. I'm gonna have to probably side a little bit more favor to the team from Green Bay compared to the team from the Windy City. Not saying that Chicago, you can't do it, but I'm gonna go with the Packers on this one also.
All right, and we got a 10-5 Tennessee Titans taking on a 4-11 Houston Texans. Sticking with my Tennessee Titans.
You and that damn Tennessee team. As long as it's not the Volunteers, sweetie, we're all good. I'm going to agree with Heather on this one. I think Titans rebound after that shellacking that they got in Lambeau Field, and thanks to Aaron Rodgers and company. Derrick Henry, no offense, you ain't rushing for 2,000 yards. You might come close, but you know what? Time to cut the hair, motherfucker. I will go with the Titans, though, and close game. Going to be a close game. But Titans win.
It's another team that I think the coach is going to rest his starters. At the end of the day.
Henry, if he was to rush for 200 yards, he breaks 2,000 yards. It's like Mike Evans. I mean, he's got 40 yards to go for another 1,000 yards.
But
what do you want to do? Do you want to get the record, or do you want to just rest your players? Even you have said you don't like resting.
No, but here's the thing. When I say rest your players, I'm not saying don't let them play.
No, but I mean...
But if they at least get in there and go and get hit and knocked around for even a quarter in a game, and then you take them out for the rest of the game, that's, to me, is not really resting your players. That is preserving my good players from risking. Do you risk?
I mean, well, look at what happened to Derrick Rose that one year.
Yeah. Do you risk Derrick Henry trying to get 200 yards and possibly getting a season-ending injury?
So the question for you would be, do you think a second-string Tennessee can take out a first-string Houston?
That I don't think.
No.
I think Texans could take out a second-string Titans. Is my whole thing. It's just the NFL this time of year. The NFL used to be so easy to predict what these top teams were going to do. You know what I mean? It was like it was a no freaking break. So I mean, here's my question: have the Titans locked up the South?
No.
So they still have a chance to lose the South.
They can still, Indiana can still win the South. Actually, hang on. Let's go back there. Yeah, 10-5 Colts. 10-5 Texans. Titans. They're both in the AFC South too. Yeah, this is basically they can't rest nobody right now. This is for the AFC South too. They're both 10-5. The Colts and the Titans are both 10-5.
And who holds the tiebreaker between them?
They both finished 1-1 in the division against each other.
Okay.
Tennessee is 4-1 in their division right now. The Colts are 3-2 in their division.
Yeah, they both played.
This is kind of a must-win for the Titans if they want to lock up the AFC South.
Yeah.
Who had the better score of victory?
It don't matter and everything like that. If the Titans win on Sunday and everything, they lock up.
Well, no, if they win, they lock up.
But if
they lose and they tie with Indianapolis,
I think the Colts beat them twice.
No, the Colts didn't beat them twice. They're 4-1 in the division. Jay.
Yeah, the Titans are 4-1. The Colts are 4-2. They have yet to. I don't know.
How could if they're in the same
division? If they're not playing each other, you're right.
That's what I'm saying.
But
they've split.
I don't know what their other division.
Okay, Tennessee beat the Colts once, and they lost to the Colts once.
But what I'm saying is, when they won against the Colts, what was the margin of victory?
34-17.
We can't even go by that though.
They lost 45-26.
Ooh, yeah, the Colts beat their ass. But here's the thing, man, we can't even go that. If the Green Bay has not locked up home field advantage right now, because I'm looking at, Green Bay should have home field advantage.
We're talking about the Indianapolis.
But
we're talking about. But what I'm saying is for me is, I think the Titans, win or lose, is going to win the South. That's my whole thing. And I just don't see this being. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stay safe because this is very unpredictable. I'm going to go with the Titans. But something tells me if they fucking rest them players, if they pull their starters out, it's going to be a Texans win.
Yeah.
So it's
It's hard, especially, this last week. We all went with the Titans.
All right, so next we have a 7-8 Raiders playing a 5-10 Broncos. I'm gonna take the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Las Vegas. Not.
How can you not go? How can you go against Chucky? Sucks he ain't gonna make the playoffs for a second straight year, and all that great drafting and all that stuff that he's done in Las Vegas. 2 years hasn't really shown me nothing, but yeah, I'll give him the credit today. You finish 8-8. I'll go with the Raiders.
Okay. We have a 6-9 Chargers taking on a 14-1 Chiefs. Go with the Chiefs.
Nope. Mahomes is not playing. That's for sure. I mean, that Randy Reed's already said he's not.
Yeah,
going to start
Mahomes is not playing. Tyreek Hill is not playing.
Tyreek Hill is not playing.
Travis Kelce is not playing.
I'm going to go with Los Angeles.
I'm
going to go with the Chargers.
This is the only game right now
I'm going to go with the Chargers.
I know that their coach is
everybody for the Chiefs are out. I'm going with the Chargers.
Yeah, they're resting pretty much their whole team. You're going to see nothing but second and third stringers in for the Chiefs. I'm going with LA.
All right, and last but not least, we have a 6-9 Washington taking on a 4-10-1 Eagles. Washington.
If Alex Smith is playing, I can say Washington. But if Alex Smith is not healthy and not playing, I might have to give to the Eagles this time. And I'm just not. I haven't heard the status on Alex Smith. Well,
Smith has got a hip injury. He's out.
He's out? Oh, well then, Philadelphia.
Who'd you go with?
I took Washington.
We saw how terrible the Washington football team is without Alex Smith.
But they also just got rid of Hopkins.
Yeah, but their other quarterback isn't as...
You know what? I don't know how to pick on this one and everything like that. This is... Washington, you've had a hell of a year. I'm gonna go ahead and have to go with you. I mean, obviously, whenever the football team, let's make it straight, the football team. Whenever Alex Smith is in there, they're a totally different team. I'm gonna go with Chad on this one. If Alex Smith ain't playing, I'm gonna go ahead and ride it with the fucking Eagles. Like it.
All right, so we're going to move on and real quick talk about the playoff standings and possibilities coming up, important games this week. Real quick, I'm going to give a rundown. We have sitting right now at number 1 in the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills, and number 2, the Miami Dolphins. Buffalo has a 12-3. Miami has a 10-5 record as of right now.
Buffalo Bills have already locked up
they've already
their division.
For the AFC North, we have Pittsburgh sitting in number 1 at 12-3. Baltimore sitting at 10-5, tied with a 10-5 Cleveland Browns in third. The only separation at this point is the divisional record.
Pittsburgh's already locked up.
Yeah. AFC South, we have Tennessee sitting in the number 1 slot at 10-5. Only due to the fact that we have the Colts sitting at 10-5 in number 2, with a difference of a 4-1 division win for Tennessee and a 3-2 division win for Indianapolis.
Comes down to the final season on that one.
Yeah.
AFC West, obviously, we have Kansas City locking it up with 14-1 with a divisional record of 4-1, and then a Las Vegas Raiders at a 7-8.
No other team besides Kansas City out of the AFC West is going to make it. So Kansas City, plain and simple, Las Vegas will not make the playoffs. They're already eliminated. So.
Our NFC East, I have to say this might actually be the most interesting thing that the NFC least is really the one fighting it out, because we have a 6-9 Washington football team in the number 1 slot with a 3-2 divisional against a Dallas Cowboys in the number 2 slot with a 2-3 divisional.
You got 5-9.
5-10 Giants with a 3-2.
This is where I think the Giants steal the division. I just I really feel like Philadelphia's going to end up beating the Washington football team. And I just think the Giants, I saw that they do have their starting quarterback back, Daniel Jones. And that's the difference maker right there for them against this Dallas team, is Daniel Jones coming back. And, as long as they protect him during the Dallas game, they beat Dallas and they steal the division.
Here's what you got in the NFC least. You got 3 teams, either 6-9 or 5-10. One of these 3 teams are going to win that division. Which means an 11-5 Tampa Bay team will have to go on the road and play in one of these shitty fucking homes. But you know what, Tampa, you lost. You didn't win your division. So you know what? Hats off to whoever, the Giants, the Eagles, the Redskins, your mama's left tissue in the trash can. Whatever fucking team comes out of the East. Hats off. Either way, it's a disgusting division. I hate the division. It's been shitty for the last couple years. It's not just been this year. But at the end of the day, you're going to have a team that's at least 6-9, 7-9.
I cannot in the least say that I am disappointed at the fact that Tampa's going to face one of these teams.
Sad thing is, Tampa can still face the Los Angeles team that kicked our ass here in Tampa.
So we have the NFC North. We have the Green Bay Packers in the number 1 slot right now at 12-3. And number 2, not even close, an 8-7 Chicago Bears.
The Green Bay Packers have already locked up the North.
Yeah, the Green Bay Packers are locked up. Yeah, the Packers have locked up the North.
And with our NFC South, we have an 11-4 New Orleans Saints in the number 1 locked up.
Yeah, they're locked up.
And then, of course, following right behind, a 10-5 Tampa Bay.
So we have the North, the South, and the West already locked up in the NFC. It all comes down to the NFC East or least. And the AFC, you got the AFC East, AFC North, AFC West. Once again, AFC South.
And then we have our NFC West. We have Seattle coming in at 11-4.
Seattle's clinched it.
And, following behind them, the Rams at 9-6.
Yeah, so Seattle's already clinched it.
So, conference-wise, what do we think we're possibly looking at here?
All right. You're looking at... I say that the... AFC, the top 4, stay the same.
Which is, we have Kansas City coming in at number 1, Buffalo at number 2, Pittsburgh at number 3, and Tennessee at number 4.
Yes. And I do see these last 4 teams right here. all these 4, 10, and 5 teams.
Which would be Miami, then Baltimore, then Cleveland, then Indianapolis.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Miami, if you falter, you gotta hope Cleveland or Baltimore falter.
Well,
And the thing is, divisionally speaking, they're all right on track too. So it's going to be interesting.
this is what I love about the NFL. You know, you don't have your little rankings. You know, oh, well, you were number 1 in September. You were number 1 in October. You know, you played in this conference. You played in that conference. You played in this. You know, this is what I kind of like about seeing how this NFL season is going to start. It's not about how you were last year at the beginning of the season, you know, like college football, you know, and basically it comes down to 2 divisions that really have, other than that, all your divisions are sewn up, wrapped up. It's going to be a good week 16.
And for our...
And excuse me real quick.
No.
And then Heather, you can on this. You know, it's not being biased like in college football where it's Alabama, Clemson, Florida, USC, Ohio State, your mother's dead grandfather. At least in the NFL, we got a couple games out there that it doesn't matter. You know, it's still, you know, it's not about how good you were at the beginning of the season, how good you are right now. I'm looking forward to the final weekend of the season. I think it's going to be an exciting and interesting season. Or wrap up.
All right. I mean, we're talking playoffs here, and we were having this discussion before we started taping today.
Are we going to the NFC?
Yeah.
That's where I was going to lead us. I was just going to give a rundown real quick. We have coming in number 1 right now, the Green Bay Packers at 12-3. We have the New Orleans Saints on their heels at 11-4, and Seattle on their heels as well at 11-4.
All right. This is the thing. This thing. Now let's go back a couple weeks ago when Green Bay and New Orleans had the same record. All right. And where did they have Green Bay at when they showed the standings?
I believe number 2.
I mean,
no, they were number 1.
Okay,
number 1.
okay.
They were number 1, and when they kept saying Green Bay holds the tie over New Orleans, but now what they're saying is Green Bay at 12-3. By my math and by my knowledge of football, and even my brothers, Green Bay should already have the number 1 seed locked down.
I would think so.
Because even if they were to lose, and Seattle and the Saints were to win, and they all have the same record,
12-4.
Then you have to take, because Seattle and Green Bay did not play each other at all this season, so they have the same divisional wins.
I don't know. Seattle and New Orleans play each other.
And then you have to take it back to last year's record. And Green Bay was 12-3 last year, where Seattle was 12-4. So Green Bay still comes out on top. But they're still saying Green Bay could lose this number 1 slot. And I'm not understanding where they're coming from on saying Green Bay has not locked down home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
The only confusing thing to me, which you did explain earlier, is the fact that Green Bay played New Orleans. Green Bay beat New Orleans in week 4 or something like that.
Somewhere at the beginning of the season, 37-30.
So
Orleans lost to Green Bay.
That should trump the fact that even if they had a tied record after this week, the only thing I can look at is that would put New Orleans at a 6-0 divisional, where Green Bay would be at a 4-2. But that I get what you're saying. It should.
Where is Seattle?
But hold on, to answer her question real quick.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna try to figure out where Seattle comes in.
If they all end at the same record.
Hold on, but she just asked the question with the 5 and. Okay, this goes back to what I said.
Mm-hmm.
About a couple weeks ago, before last week. You know, not last week, but the week 15, before New Orleans lost when Drew Brees came back. Green Bay and New Orleans had the same exact record. But when they showed the NFC standings, Green Bay was on top, number 1, in New Orleans. Now, Green Bay already had their loss in their division. New Orleans hadn't had a loss in their division. But they were already put... Why? Because Green Bay holds the tiebreaker due to the fact that they beat them in the regular season.
Right.
Okay? This is why now this scenario doesn't make sense. Now the NFL is contradicting themselves.
Agreed.
When it comes to New Orleans and Green Bay. Now, how does Seattle even fit into the picture if all of them end up with the same record? Is you're telling me that your rules of what you've been going by all this time?
What is Seattle's division record?
They're 3-2.
Seattle is 3-2. So if they win this week, that'll put them at 4-2
like
divisional, 12-4.
But that would put Green Bay at 4-2. If Green Bay loses, they'd all.
If they're going by division records, then obviously if at 4-2, you're not going to catch New Orleans if they're 5-0.
No.
Especially if you guys finish with the same record.
Exactly.
Same thing with Seattle. But at the end of the day, how is it that Green Bay and New Orleans played each other, and if they finish at 11 or 12-4, even if Green Bay say they stumble against Chicago, why is Green Bay number 2 when they beat New Orleans head up? And not only that, neither one of these teams played Seattle.
Exactly, but that goes back to what I'm saying. Week 15, when they showed the standings, okay, and New Orleans only had 3 losses at that point, and of course, Green Bay had their 3 losses. And they said, if the playoffs were to start today, Green Bay would be the number 1 seed.
Right.
Where Green Bay had already had their divisional loss.
But New Orleans.
I think we all have to agree it just does not make sense.
No, it makes a little bit of sense, because if all 3 of these teams, say New Orleans, Seattle, and Green Bay, all end up with the same record, 11-4, 12-4, whatever.
It would be actually
divisional goes by that. And New Orleans, unfortunately, has a better divisional record than Green Bay and Seattle, because only New Orleans is undefeated, not Green Bay.
I get what he's saying, though. But when they call the tiebreaker the fact that Green Bay beat New Orleans.
But now you've got 3 teams involved. It's not just New Orleans and Green Bay. It's now a 3rd team, and not only that, Seattle did not play New Orleans and Green Bay. That's probably where they're getting it from now. Now, because all 3 of these teams have a chance to probably end up 13-3 or 12-4. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying maybe that's what they're looking at. Maybe that's what it could be. Maybe now it goes, okay, if all 3 teams finish 12-4, all right, now they're going to have to look at something else. All right, divisional record. Obviously, right now, New Orleans, out of all 3 of those teams, is undefeated in the division. Green Bay's lost a couple, so has the Eagles. New Orleans hasn't lost a division game in the NFC South. Could that be a difference maker?
Hold on,
I don't know. I'm just saying,
I'm confused on it.
I agree.
Because
I'm kind of confused.
I still think Green Bay should have it on lock.
But you know what? Then again, Green Bay and New Orleans has not played Seattle this year. And if they all finish at 12-4, you can't go by with just, okay, so Green Bay beat New Orleans earlier in the year. Okay, now you got to take that away, because now what about Seattle? Green Bay did not play Seattle. And Seattle did not play New Orleans. So now you got 3 teams at 12-4. Now you got to go by divisional record. And unfortunately, the Saints have the best divisional record out of all three of those teams.
Which,
they are undefeated. They're undefeated.
Which to me then says, how the heck does Seattle fall into the equation of possibly taking number one?
Because if Seattle wins and Green Bay and New Orleans loses, they will finish with a better record. And they will finish, Seattle will finish, even though they will finish tied.
Okay.
No, the record, the win-loss record with them in Green Bay would be the same, 12-4. But Seattle would have a better division record.
No,
they wouldn't.
Seattle would be 4-2, and Green Bay would be 4-2.
I don't know.
They'd be at a dead tie.
That's
what's confusing to me.
You got three teams in there. See, that's where New Orleans can also finish with the same record as Green Bay and Seattle. And the division record will... See, Seattle hurts Green Bay. That's the problem. Because Green Bay and Seattle can every team can finish 12-4.
I personally think, as confused as we are, all three teams are going to win, and it's going to stay the same.
Then, unless Green Bay loses, right now, home field is Green Bay's to lose it. The reason why New Orleans is up there, and the reason why Green Bay has not been given, and I understand it now, because you have a third team in the NFC West. If they all finish 12-4 or something, say Green Bay loses, because Green Bay right now, you don't have to lose. All you got to do is win. Win in your number one. Because Seattle has got 4 losses. New Orleans has got 4 losses. Green Bay loses to Chicago, which I highly doubt that's going to happen.
Absolutely.
I would not say absolutely. It's anything can happen. Anything can happen. But if that's what happens, and if if Green Bay loses to Chicago, that's where the conference or the division comes into play. And New Orleans, even if they lose on Sunday, would have a better record in the division than Green Bay and Seattle. Okay. They would be 5-1, and the other two would be 4-2.
Is it possible then that somehow it's not just conference, but then it goes to league records? Which still would confuse me. Yep. Because if we look at the league records, you got Green Bay, then Buffalo, then New Orleans, and Seattle.
See, Buffalo is not even in the same conference.
Well, I know. That's why I said league, not conference.
We can't put Green Bay and Buffalo. Buffalo AFC, Green Bay NFC.
It's confusing.
Here's the thing. 4-2 right now. 3-2 Green Bay. Division, which is NFC North. Seattle 3-2. NFC West. Same division. New Orleans. Yeah, they got one more loss, but they have no losses in the division. If New Orleans wins, Green Bay, Seattle, or actually, if just Green Bay loses, because Seattle and Green Bay already have 4 losses. Right now, if those 3 teams tie, it will come down to the division, and once again, Green Bay, no offense, if Green Bay loses on Sunday, they have 2 losses in the division. If New Orleans wins, they don't have no losses.
I'm seeing how New Orleans could overtake Green Bay. It's the Seattle aspect that's confusing it.
Seattle would be tied with Green Bay in the division. I don't know how it plays out with those two. I understand where it comes with, New Orleans and Green Bay. Because one team is undefeated in their division, one team has a loss.
In my mind, the only way that Seattle could take number 1 would be for both Green Bay and Pittsburgh to lose.
You mean Seattle? New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans.
New Orleans, sorry. Green Bay and New Orleans would both have to lose for Seattle to take number 1. That's the only way I can see it.
I don't even see that then at the point.
Well, that
I think I don't even know where Seattle comes into this fucking play. I really don't.
I think somebody wrote an article and was confused.
Unless okay, if Seattle and Green Bay finishes with the same record, same division, then obviously you're gonna have to go how many games does Seattle win against the AFC?
But we looked at that, and
Yeah,
they
we
both
looked
won
at-
the same amount.
So then you're going to go last year.
Then that's it. That means Seattle's shouldn't even be in the talk for taking over the number 1 seed. Period. The only thing they could do.
What did Green Bay do last year, though? They were not the number 1 seed last year, either.
They went
San Francisco, but they went all the way to the NFC Championship.
But they were third.
They were third
and 3.
They were
last
number
year.
2. They were number 2. So
Yeah.
I don't. Right now, it should just come down to the New Orleans Saints.
Ow!
And this is what it should come down to. If the Saints win and the Packers lose on Sunday, then it comes down to who has the better divisional record. And I'm sorry, right now, if the Saints win on Sunday, or whatever, the Saints need to win.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
That's
If
what
all
I'm
three,
trying-
if
I'm
all,
not trying to-
hold on. Let me see if I can clear it up. What you're saying. If all three, if Green Bay loses and Seattle and New Orleans wins, then it should go to the divisional record.
Which would be New Orleans.
Okay, but
Agreed.
But if Green Bay and Seattle
Tie.
were to lose,
Okay.
were to lose, and New Orleans wins, then you don't do the divisional again because now you got two teams.
You would have to.
No, you wouldn't because now you only have 2 teams. I'm saying Seattle lose. Seattle and Green Bay loses.
New Orleans is undefeated in the division.
But listen what I'm saying. But what I'm reading there is if Green Bay loses, but Seattle loses or ties, they clinch the number 1
Okay.
seed because that's when. Because I see what you're saying. If there's 3 teams with the same record, then you go to the divisional record. But if you got 2 teams with the same record, but they played each other that season, the tiebreaker goes to the team that won.
But if you have a third team in there, which Seattle would be the third team at 4
They
losses
wouldn't,
also.
but not if Seattle loses.
Well, Seattle probably ain't gonna lose.
What? But listen, but you
Who
can't.
the
Don't.
fuck are they-
But
who the fuck are
don't.
they playing? Who are they playing?
Stop and listen
The
what I'm saying.
Cardinals?
No, stop and listen what I was saying. You're not you're going to the scenario where I agree with you on, but you're not listening to the scenario I said. If Green Bay loses, New Orleans wins, Seattle loses. Now you only got Green Bay and New Orleans with the same overall record,
Then it
12
should
and
go
4.
to Green Bay. Then
it goes to Green Bay.
It should go to Green Bay.
You know,
Here,
but
yeah.
if it goes to Seattle, I mean to Green Bay, and
That's what's hurting.
and
That's
Seattle
what's
have
hurting
the same
NFC.
record.
That's what's hurting the NFC right now is because we don't know what these 3 teams are going to do.
Well, I'm
we're
just saying,
not sure yet.
If Green Bay wins, or if Green Bay loses and New Orleans loses, and Seattle wins, I don't see how Seattle just automatically jumps
Agreed.
Green Bay
Agreed.
because, like we said,
No, Seattle. I really don't understand why Seattle's even in there. I really don't.
the only thing Seattle's in there for is if Green Bay loses and Seattle loses.
I mean, New Orleans.
If Green Bay loses and Seattle wins, and then New Orleans wins, then you got 3 teams with the same exact record. Then it goes to the divisional, to where that helps New Orleans.
Obviously.
Only team that I don't see how they're trying to say has a chance in that whole scenario to become the number 1 seed is Seattle. I don't think Seattle should be able to.
I think we all agree and we're all talking the same point. It doesn't make sense.
You know what? The NFC East, all you gotta do, either Washington or Dallas, just win your fucking conference, motherfuckers. That way the Bucks can go on the road the following week and kick your ass.
We're all agreed. They're confused as hell. So I hope all 3 teams win. Things stay as they are. And I think we're going to...
smoking. I want some of that shit.
I don't even give a fuck if all 3 teams. I just want Green Bay to win. If Green Bay wins, then this is a moot point. Period.
All right.
Point blank.
So we have only a couple minutes left. We're going to have to wrap this up, guys. I want to thank our viewers. It's been an interesting night, to say the least. Smash that like button. Share, and subscribe, because you know these guys are going to be bringing you more. So, Chad, anything for our viewers?
I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in and watching us. Like you heard my wife say, smash that like button, share, subscribe to this channel. Go ahead and check out my other YouTube channel, CHP Paranormal Investigation. So if you're into the paranormal and ghost hunting, we go unedited. The only time you see little breaks is when our camera hits the 20-minute mark. Other than that, we don't edit any of our stuff. How you see it on the video is exactly how we investigated it. You know, we don't put no fraud stuff in there. We're the real deal. Guys, check out that channel. Share it with your friends. Subscribe. Hit the like button on that. Be sure to leave comments in the comment section and anything that we discussed tonight during the sports talk with two brothers talking sports. You know, if you agree with us, disagree with us, whatever, put it in the comments. If you have other things you want to talk about sports-wise, put in the comments, and we'll see you next week.
You can also hit us up with your suggestions at our email address. That is the number 2brothers.talksports1@gmail.com, and we will get to your emails.
You know what? I just want to sit there and talk a little bit about something besides sports real quick. I know the sports show and everything like that. I just want everyone to sit there and have a happy new year. Let's get through 2020 and everything. It's been a hectic year for everybody, and folks, we're enjoy the sports. I mean, who cares who wins or loses? The sports is about taking you away from life's problems. I just hope you and your family are safe. And I hope you've had a good holiday season. Enjoy the new year, and let's bring 2021, and let's just hope we can put 2020 behind us. And you know what? Just God bless everybody, and just stay safe.
So from the two brothers and your voice behind the camera, peace, love, and football.
Go Gators!
Catch you guys next time.